Okay, no more tea in this chapter, so, if you still have your tea, you can finish it, or you could throw it away or something, I don't know. I finished mine. Chapter 7, A Name of Power. On the way home, Roran said, "There was a stranger from Terranceford at horse today." Oh, this is a short chapter.
"What was his name?"
asked Eragon. He sidestepped a patch of ice and continued walking at a brisk pace. His cheeks and eyes burned from the cold. "Dumpton. He came here to have horse to forge him some sockets," said Roran. His stocky legs plowed through a drift, clearing the way for Eragon.
"Doesn't Terranceford have its own smith?"
"Yes," replied Roran, "but he isn't skilled enough." He glanced at Eragon with a shrug and added, "Dumpton needs the sockets for his mill. He's expanding it and offered me a job. If I accept, I'll leave with him when he picks up the sockets." Millers worked all week. During winter, they ground whatever people brought them, but in the harvest season they bought grain and sold it as flour. It was hard, dangerous work. Workers often lost fingers or hands to the giant millstones.
"Are you going to tell Garrow?"
asked Eragon. Yes, a grimly amused smile played across Roran's face.
"What for? You know what he thinks about us going away. It'll only cause trouble if you say anything. Forget about it so we can eat tonight's dinner in peace."
"I can't. I'm going to take the job." Eragon halted.
"Why?"
They faced each other, their breaths visible in the air.
"I know money is hard to come by, but we always manage to survive. We don't have to leave."
"No, I don't. But the money's for myself." Roran tried to resume walking, but Eragon refused to budge.
"What do you need it for?"
he demanded. Roran's shoulders straightened slightly. "I want to marry." Bewilderment and astonishment overwhelmed Eragon. He remembered seeing Katrina and Roran kiss during the trader's visit. But marriage?
"Katrina."
He asked weakly, just to confirm. Roran nodded.
"Have you asked her?"
"Not yet. But come spring, when I can raise a house, I will."
"There's too much work on the farm for you to leave now,"
protested Eragon.
"Wait until we're ready for planting."
"There's too much work in winter on a farm?" "No, when you're ready for planting is the worst part, because then he has to plant." "No," said Roran, laughing slightly. "Spring's the time I'll be needed the most, see? The ground will have to be forward and sown, the crops must be weeded, not to mention all the other chores. No, this is the best time for me to go, when all we really do is wait for the season to change." Okay, this part I have to admit, Christopher thought it true. This part is actually sensible and realistic. You and Garrow can make do without me. If all goes well, I'll soon be working on the farm, with a wife." Eragon reluctantly conceded that Roran had made sense. He shook his head, but whether with amazement or anger, he knew not.
I guess I can only wish you the best of luck, but Garrow may take this with ill humor."
"We will see." They resumed walking, the silence a barrier between them. Eragon's heart was disturbed. It would take time before he could look upon this development with favor. When they arrived home, Roran did not tell Garrow of his plans, but Eragon was sure he soon would. Eragon went to see the dragon for the first time it had spoken to him. He approached apprehensively, aware now that it was an equal. "Eragon,"
"Is that all you can say?"
he snapped. "Yes." His eyes widened at the unexpected reply. He sat down roughly. Now it has a sense of humor. What next? Impulsively he broke a dead branch with his foot. Roran's announcement had put him in a foul mood. A questioning talk came from the dragon, so he told it what had happened. As he talked, his voice grew steadily louder, until he was yelling pointlessly into the air. He ranted until his emotions were spent, then ineffectually punched the ground. Okay, so he's just like crazy right now. Ow, I just broke my eye. "I don't want him to go,"
"I don't want him to go, that's all,"
he had said helplessly. The dragon watched impassively, listening and learning. Eragon mumbled a few choice curses and rubbed his eyes. He looked at the dragon thoughtfully.
"You need a name."
I heard some interesting
ones today. Perhaps you like one."
He mentally ran through the list Broom had given him until he found two names that struck him as heroic and noble, pleasing to the ear. What do you
think of Vanilor, or his successor, Eridor? Both were great dragons."
"No," said the dragon. It sounded amused with his efforts. "Eragon."
"That's my name. You can't have it."
"Why? If I had a dragon, I would name my dragon my name." which I won't tell you because it's secret. Um, he said, rubbing his chin.
Well, if you don't like those, there are others.
He continued through the list, but the dragon rejected everyone he proposed. It seemed to be laughing at something Eragon did not understand, but he ignored it and kept suggesting names.
There was Ingatul. He slew
A revelation stopped him. That's the problem. I've been choosing male names. You're a she, and he thought that. He didn't say that. So, like, he stopped talking in the middle of a sentence, and then he started thinking with his mind. Telepathy. I'm thinking it to you. Yes, said the dragon. The dragon folded her wings smugly. Now that he knew what to look for, he came up with half a dozen names. He toyed with Miramel. So, um, so the ones he was telling before were guy names, and now it's girl names. I guess if you add an A at the end, you can, whatever. But that did not fit. After all, it was the name of a brown dragon. Ophelia and Lenora were also discarded. He was about to give up when he remembered the last name Broom had muttered. Eragon liked it, but with the dragon? He asked.
Are you Saphira?
She looked at him with intelligent eyes. Deep in his mind, he felt her satisfaction. Yes, yes, yes. This is going to be her voice now. Yes. Something clicked in his head, and her voice echoed, as if from a great distance. He grinned in response. Saphira started humming. Okay, so the names in this book are either completely crazy or like not that crazy at all. Like Saphira is not that absurd, but like what? Eragon, Broom? What kind of name is Broom? Which reminds me, why did the broom why was the broom late for work? Because it overswept. Oh, I just thought that's funny. Anyways, okay. So she started humming. That's the end of this chapter. Next time, we'll talk about Millers more. Oh, God.